पहले तो you will be answering what is schema, right? Then how do they facilitate your adjustment with the environment? So in the answer, make it a point that you are connecting schema and adjustment. This is what the examiner is asking you. So whatever you are writing, जैसे behaviorist, पिछले question में we were focusing on that how did we understand the human behavior better? What new learnings or what new information was added to our study of human behavior? So similarly over here, what the theme of the question has to be that how does it facilitate your adjustment? So wherever you are connecting, please ensure that you are setting the link between schemas and adjustment, right? And in fact, this question can be beautifully answered using few flowcharts also, right? Wherein if you feel that you are falling short of things, falling short of time, right? Plus you have a lot to connect and write. So उस केस में क्या होता है, if you are just writing in sentences, you will definitely cross the word limit. So if you are writing, let's say 5 points, right? Like Rakshana, you tried to connect on different aspects. What you can do is in 3 points, you can write in the sentences. And in every alternate point, you can express the same idea using a flowchart. Fine. So with this, let's first understand what a schema is. अगर आपको नहीं भी पता, there is no such, do not feel that words are not coming into the pen. You have read a lot of psychology. अब तो हमने almost कर लिया है. So schemas are what? These are actually your the mental templates or the categories that our mind creates, so that we are able to structure our concepts better. We are able to interpret the world objectively, right? Or rather, interpret the world in a meaningful manner, right? So basically आपका जो schema है, एक simple terms में, what is it? These are cognitive shortcuts. अब जैसे टोलमैन में, अभिषेक आपने अभी टोलमैन का वो रैट वाला मेज बताया, राइट? उसी से कनेक्ट कर लो. जो रैट्स थे, what they were making? They were actually making some sort of representation or cognitive map of the whole maze. So कर क्या रहे थे actually में? They were making the schema. That is a diagrammatic overview, right? So schemas are nothing but these are your cognitive maps and shortcuts, so that we are quickly able to make sense of the world, right? अब जैसे behavioristic perspective है, if in the class I am asking you, tell me the 5 keywords or the key principles actually, और आप मुझे वो 5 keywords बता रहे हो, what is that you are displaying is use of the schemas, right? Otherwise वो 5-6 पेज में हमने जो पूरा behavioristic school किया है, आपने उसको gist में convert किया. So what you are doing is you are creating a cognitive shortcut so that you are able to interpret your environment better, so that you are able to draw inferences quickly. So the key word would be that they are acting as heuristics. They guide you to take action quickly, to make effective decisions. ठीक है? Because हमारी जो human memory है, I would say because of, and आपके जो schemas हैं, they are the result of your interactions with the environment. हर इंसान का schema different होगा. So they are subjective organizations of concepts and experiences of an individual. That's it. कुछ टेक्निकल नहीं हमें याद करना, बट वी हैव टू शो टू द एग्जामिनर दैट वी आर सिंप्लीफाइंग द थिंग्स फॉर यू. आपको समझ में आ रहा है. फाइन. सब्जेक्टिव ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, हर इंडिविजुअल का स्कीमा डिफरेंट होगा. प्लस दे आर एक्टिंग एज कॉग्निटिव मैप्स, दे आर एक्टिंग एज कॉग्निटिव शॉर्टकट्स टू गाइड योर एक्शंस, राइट? देन they are helping you in your attitude formation. They are helping you in decision making. Fine. So initially you would be writing these things. So कोई भी आपके individual का जो mental structure है that one uses to organize his knowledge is known as your schema. Easy. This is the most generative question that you can display. Students would be, just thinking in terms of the bookish knowledge that they have gained. हमने schema कहाँ पढ़ा था? Okay, what did we write in the notes? So we need to, replicate that. But this is so constructive that just merely by one keyword, you can write the whole answer. Right? Now just think and tell me, because the question is that how does it facilitate our adjustment? So what all functions would schemas be doing, or schemas can be a basis for what? Because देखिए, you have to maintain the connect between the two aspects that are being asked. We have to cleverly take the definition of schema towards adjustment. Right? Because then only the flow will be maintained in the answer. So we can always say that schemas are the categories that involve the structure of concepts that guide your human inferences, interpretations, etc. जो भी हमने शुरू में लिख दिया है. Then, as Manoj said, if you have time, you can write that the schema is, because हमारे experiences से बनता है. So usually there are of 4 types. You will be having certain I would say expectations from particular individuals, or schemas are what? They help you in creating expectancies. Right? So they can be person schema, that is the schema about other individuals, that how an ideal friend would be like. Right? How an ideal younger brother has to behave. What is the schema of a mother? How an ideal mother should be like. So दूसरे लोगों का schema. Then you have concepts about yourself. That is, this is the way that you perceive yourself. This is what I like, this is what I dislike. So schemas about your own self. Then you have schemas about certain roles. Right? What behavioral expectations different roles have. What is the schema of a teacher? What is the schema of a doctor? Schema of a mother, that what roles they have to carry, right? And others last could be schemas about any particular situation, right? If you are going to a marriage, this is how, or these are the behavioral standards that you need to behave in, right? If you are going for a sorrowful function, for or some sort of negative event that you are going to attend, so over there, what is the expected behavioral standards? So क्या होता है, इंसान उसी तरह से अपने आप को बिहेव करता है. राइट? क्लियर? अभिषेक, आर यू गेटिंग द पॉइंट? समझ में आ रहा है बच्चे कि स्कीमा है क्या? कुछ भी नहीं है एक्चुअली में, दीज आर द वे वी हैव ऑर्गेनाइज्ड आवर एक्सपीरियंसेस इन आवर हेड. उनकी जो लर्निंग्स हमने करी हैं, दे आर व्हाट? द स्कीमास. सो what will the schemas do? The functions of schemas, right? So after writing all these definitions, right, then broadly we can say that schemas can be divided into these four heads. And then to create that connect between the first part and the second part, what we will do is we can drop in the keywords that will initially, because I guess all these things would be done in the first page of the answer. Then in the on the second page, the first half has to portray certain keywords which shows to the examiner that you have connected the things to all different areas. एक perception से, एक attention से, right? Then through emotions. So try to pick up all these keywords because schemas are the basis of each and everything, right? So the basis of, or rather, you can say that schemas, they act as a basis for what? Your expectations. Right? ये जो हमने categories दिमाग में बनाई है, what are they? They are acting as basis for expectations. Clear? Then action orientation, or simply actions, right? Then perceptual readiness. Right? Suppose you're reading some book, let's say any psychology answer written by somebody or some of your friend. You have attended the class, you know that these are the things that are expected from an answer, right? And somebody tells you that this is the best answer that some individual has written, please go through it. So with the learnings and the trust that you have in the classes, you have that mindset, okay, these are the things that I need to expect. तो आपने पहला ही पेज पढ़ के you feel that it is drifting away from the required standard, it's just using fancy language. तो क्या होगा, next answers को approach करते वक्त you won't be having that readiness to read. You will say, okay, fine, all good, very well written, thank you so much. Right? So schemas, they are a basis for your perceptual readiness and your attention. Fine. Then they are a basis for your organization and selectivity. You just have to think about the different things that we have read, right? And then finally, what else? Your recall and recognition. और ये जो कीवर्ड हमने यूज किया था, they are the basis for your heuristics, mental shortcuts. Remember, UPSC में I told you the intelligent guesses that we make are probably because of the healthy or the enriched schemas that you are making in the course of your preparation. You will never be able to memorize the complete book. You will not be able to memorize Baron. You will not be able to memorize my notes or anybody else's notes. Rather, now they are your notes, right? So you won't be able to memorize them completely. What you are creating is the schemas, cognitive mind maps. Fine. So they will help you take decisions quickly. So they are the basis for your decision making. They are the basis for your attitudes. Clear? So this is what is required. You are connecting things. आपने attention से भी लिख दिया, आपने perception से भी लिखा. You are talking about memory also, right? You're talking about perception, organization. So these are the basis, and this is how, on the basis of these, they guide our actions, which take us towards adjustment. Fine. So this is how you can write a thing. Before we discuss how do they facilitate. Yes, Manoj?
Actually, मैंने एक point लिखा था that schema building varies with respect to culture. Like, can we add this point in this?
Yes, definitely.
Or like, is it?
No, because your experience in the introduction, I told you that subjective organization of concepts and experiences of an individual, and then you can add on a line that schemas are a result of your experiences in a particular culture and a context. Right? So, इसी वजह से they are subjective. Right? There are certain general schemas and expectations, plus there are certain subjective experiences too. Clear? देखिए, if by chance you don't know these, the 4 types, that's completely okay, right? Then if you feel that at that point in time you're not able to write these things, so what you will do is you can use a very, very simple flow chart. You know, this is where the students miss on. It's not always a very heavy and a fancy answer. You have to be logical in your thoughts, right? I told you that you need to connect schema and adjustment. So what you can do is, after writing about your understanding about the concept of schema in half a page, what you can do is, to show the maintain the flow and the connect, you can draw this simple flow chart that an individual, he has his own experience, concepts, and learnings in particular cultural environment. Fine. That leads to formation of schemas or categories of information. That these categories and schemas, what do? They guide his actions. Fine, of course, they will guide your actions. And finally, it will lead to what? You have to, I told you, use the keyword of the question. It will lead to adaptation to the environment. Clear? It is this easy. बस intelligently आपको क्या करना है? You have to connect what is being asked. So, schema and adaptation needs to be connected. Adaptation or adjustment in the environment. Clear? You got the point? So do not worry if you don't know that what are the 4 types of schemas, or it is the basis for expectation, anticipation. Of course, with practice, all these words will come. But to initially start, if they, do not stress yourself too much that you have to think of all these words. Let them be. नहीं कुछ दिमाग में आ रहा, it's okay. What you have to do is, as an intelligent member of this psychology community, you have already read a lot. You just need to pick up the question, free dimag se try to write the answer. That's it. Believe me, you will be quite successful than those who are just mere focusing on reproducing any type of content. You need to think. Fine. Now, how will schemas facilitate? Right. So these points can also be understood using flowcharts. Okay, or you can frame it into sentences, your wish. So first thing is simple thing. हमें पता है schemas से क्या होगा? It will lead to organization of information. That will, when the information is organized in your memory, it will lead to what? Better interpretations. Of reality. Easy. So if interpretation is better, what will it lead to? Effective conclusions. If the conclusions are effective, you will make well-informed decisions. If the decisions are well-informed, they are rational. So it is pointing towards what? You will be able to better adjust to the environment. So it will facilitate our adjustment with environment. Clear? What am I doing? Connecting schemas and adjustment. This is the key to answer writing. Do not only rush behind writing the content. You have to address what is being asked. Clear? Okay. So what you have done is, you have it in your mind that schemas, they are helpful in decision making. Very basic, easy terms, right? So intelligently try to just stretch a bit and connect it with using key terms. Then, because this will be reflective of your understanding if you are writing it in this manner. Then the second thing, decision making humne kar liya. Now we have to talk about, I told you that these are the cognitive shortcuts, mental maps, right? So they are helpful in what? So let's try to write down. Schemas, they will aid your concept formation and categorization. Right? It gives us the ability to remember the gist. What will it lead to? Cognitive economy. That will finally lead to enhanced performance. अब अगर complete psychology आपको, you are able to write it in 20-30 pages, right? Complete paper, each unit in 2 pages, right? So 40-50 pages complete psychology. It will give you the ability to remember the gist. Cognitive economy, wherever the need be, you'll be able to retrieve the complete mind map of the thing. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे mind map लिख लो, anything depending upon what you are able to think upon at that point in time. So it will lead to, of course, enhanced performance. You'll be able to answer each and everything. Fine. And when your performance is enhanced in the environment, it means it is facilitating your adjustment. So it will lead to increased adjustment in the surroundings. Clear? So what we are doing, we are connecting schemas and we are connecting adjustment in the environment. Right? What basically we are doing, we are addressing the demand of the question. You're getting the point, everybody? Abhishek, Manoj, Mukta, Rakshana? Right? Chalo, good. I hope you're not feeling bored. We are learning something new.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Then what else? you talked about किसने बोला था अभी adaptation and accommodation? Abhishek?
मैम मनोज ने बोला था.
Manoj. Okay, you remember that schemas are associated with adaptation and accommodation.
Assimilation बोला था.
Okay, assimilation, sorry. Right, assimilation and accommodation. So we can always create a link between that. Isi form mein, let's try to write that down. So how will it be? So with schema, we create expectancies. Right? So on the basis of our expectancies, that if you are going for a function, right? Let's say a social gathering or the friend marriage of a friend. So there are certain expectations. So using those expectations, we take appropriate actions and relevant behavior. So with all these experiences, you realize that, okay, there are some let's say additions and subtractions that you have learned. While entering into the marriage, you understood that I will make it a point that be it anybody's marriage, if the time is 8 o'clock, I will be there at 8:30. Otherwise, I will be there receiving the barat myself. Fine. So this is the learning. Otherwise, all throughout your life, you say that no, if the time is 8, I will be there at 8. So, but in social gatherings, you understand that, okay, half an hour you need to, you can take that leverage. So what is happening? Accommodation and assimilation of new learnings and concepts. Right? With this, what will happen? It gives us the power of what? Person environment fit. Just try to use few keywords like cognitive economy, person environment fit.
Can
Yes.
we use satisfaction here?
Where?
Like person environment fit के जगह.
हाँ बिल्कुल. Satisfaction. Because
Personal satisfaction. I mean, like, the relation person and environment jo hai ma'am. So we are talking about the fit. So I'm talking like completely is taraf like satisfaction.
Okay, I got the point. So you can very well write that before person environment fit, assimilation and accommodation will lead to what? Enhanced life experiences and satisfaction, and that will lead to further person environment fit. Right? Look, this is the creativity that you can add on. I'm just giving you the direction to think. Right? Try to use all these words wherever the opportunity comes. And in fact, over here, you can write Piaget in the bracket. Wherever you are writing about memory, you can write about Bartlett, because these are the two people who had talked about schemas in their work. Okay, so this depends upon आपको उस समय पे क्या याद आ रहा है. But my point over here is that you need to meet the demand of the question. Do not merely rush behind, I have not read about schema. I don't know what are the types of schemas. Doesn't matter. But you have read psychology. You have understood the subject. Then why not bring it onto the pen. Have confidence in your abilities, right? Because हर चीज आपकी पढ़ी हुई नहीं आ सकती. This is the creativity that you have to create, right? Then we have talked about person environment fit. Then let's discuss one more aspect, wherein we have talked about, creating new schemas, adaptation, everything. We have talked about memory, organization of information, decision making, your concept formation. Let's talk about our own self also. We have to show to the examiner that you are checking me on my personality aspects. So let me tell you something about me, right? So intelligently, you have to show yourself. Fine. So schemas, or you can say self schema, leads to what? If you know that, okay, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. So it means there is increased self-awareness. It will lead to increased self-awareness. If the awareness is high, so no or less role ambiguity. You are showing to the examiner that, listen, I'm very self-aware. I know what role I have to play, no ambiguities. This will lead to what? Increased self-esteem and self-efficacy. And finally, the person who has high self-belief in his abilities, his capabilities, is high on self-confidence, is of course able to better adjust to the environment. So this will lead to what? Better adjustment to environment. Fine. So very intelligently, you have to put in all these things. Fine. So now I hope your understanding about the schemas is good, right? You are able to understand what I'm trying to put across. And if you are writing all these things, now do not think that it is very essential that you have to write the conclusion. Right? Because you have written a lot. You have already enriched the things, because otherwise kya hoga fir, then you will be compromising with the other answers. So what we have to do is, एक line आप लिख सकते हो that it is the plasticity of schemas that help us gain new experiences in life, to modify our inferences, our expectations, and better adjust into the environment. So एक plasticity of schema को underline कर दो, your job is done. Right? Because it will become very difficult to justify the complete paper then. Right? So keep your minds free.